Continues now. We want to bring in the PIO of Phoenix Fire, Benjamin SANTILLAN. And Benjamin, thank you for being with us. This is obviously an industrial area. Do we know specifically what's burning right now in those tankers?
Correct. With the units on scene stated that there was an oil tanker that was on fire. They state that there is some oil burning, which is creating some difficulties for us on this particular fire.
And do we know the name of this business or how much might be there? Because as we can see from our vantage point, there are quite a few tanks and containers that are there on site.
What this business came up as is a Dixco sales and leasing. We're actually trying to get the RP to actually speak with the RP. So the more information that we could obtain as firefighters, the better we have to fighting this particular fire without any other injuries. At this time, there has been 2 burn injuries, 2 victims, 2 workers that were here. They have been transported to local burn units for treatment.
Is anyone in immediate danger as far as evacuating that area, nearby businesses, nearby residences? Are folks being told to get back, or is there some kind of a buffer zone that's a safe zone?
Well, with any of these particular fires, we always want to make sure that residents do stay out of the particular area. The units on scene are doing a phenomenal job containing it to the designated area where it actually started. They are protecting exposures at this time to make sure that no other businesses lose their business. But it depends on the wind. A lot of factors right now. It looks like the wind has calmed down a little bit in this particular area, but today the winds are actually supposed to be a little bit greater, so that will pose another threat for us too if that begins to occur.
And speaking of those crews on scene, are they using water, foam? What do they use to get a hold of this fire? Because that oil
we'll use
obviously
a conjunction. We'll use of course a lot of water and a lot of foam. The thing is with oil, it gives off a lot of fume, so the vapor is actually what's actually on fire. So with the foam, it actually blankets that vapor, so it keeps it from burning. So that's why we're using foam right now as well, to create that big blanket on top of that fuel.
Yeah, and I think people, who are in that area, Nick Van Zant saying that he has asthma and he can definitely tell the difference as he's trying to just breathe the air. When you're talking about breathing oil and smoke from oil, is this something that people need to be aware of that can be extremely hazardous to you? Should we be inside and away from this as much as possible?
Sure. At this time, I would just pretty much shelter in place. Anytime you do have any carbons or anything burning, it does pose a threat as far as respiratory. That's why all our firefighters that are actually on this particular fire will be in their SCBAs, because they're in the immediate danger zone. But if you shelter in place, most definitely we will update you if there is any additional exposures that catch on fire, and for any residents that need to leave their homes. But at this time, that's not the case. They said the firefighters on scene actually are doing a phenomenal job keeping the fire in check. In other words, they're just keeping it from going any other place.
Yeah, you can really see that the smoke has come down quite a bit. The flames have come down quite a bit, too. This has grown to a 2-alarm fire, though. What does that mean as far as manpower and things go in trying to contain this quickly from all sides?
Yes, and that's why we have multiple ladder crews that will show up on scene so we can get big water on there, and we'll just use the technique of surround and drown, just so that fire just stays there, and we'll continue using foam and water simultaneously to submerge that fire into submission.